Hello students, welcome back. We are discussing the first chapter of first year PUC, that is 11th standard, and we are talking about the living world. We have discussed about what is living and what is non-living thing and what are their basic differences. We have discussed that living things shows some particular characteristics, whereas non-living thing will not be having those characters. And on that basis, we have divided living and non-living things. Now, when we talk about living things, there were different varieties of organisms which is present on the Earth's surface. That is called as biodiversity. What is biodiversity? It is the biological diversity. And on that note, we have discussed that there are millions of animals. There are some 6 lakhs plus varieties of plants. There are 40,000 plus varieties of microorganisms, funguses, and so on. Now, after that, we discussed one more topic that comes under binomial nomenclature. This is a new term which you are learning for the first time when you came to 11th standard. Binomial nomenclature. Bi means two, nomial means the way of naming, and this is a system where we name an organism depending on its genus name and its species name. There are two organizations, that is ICBN and ICZN, which decides a new organism's name, that is International Code for Zoological Nomenclature and International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. These two organizations will decide an organism's name. Now, why an organism need to be named scientifically? So that there won't be any confusion when we talk commonly about any one organism globally, that is worldwide. So that is why this binomial nomenclature system has come in existence. The local names may be confusing, may be different as we move from one place to other, one state to other state, one country to other country. The name of a particular organism will change. To avoid all these problems among scientific groups or the scientists group, there is a system which has come up to name each and every species under binomial nomenclature. We are discussing the rules of binomial nomenclature, and on that note we discussed that a binomial nomenclature system will have two names for each organism. There will be a genus name and there will be a species name. Genus name will be starting always with a capital letter of English alphabet, and the species name will be starting with a small letter. There should be some gap between the genus name and the species name. I hope you can recall all these points now. Now, how we are going to write these genus name and species name when we talk about organisms? When we say about genus name and species name, when it is printed format, when we are reading a book or when we are typing or when we are printing this binomial nomenclature, it should be written in italics. But when we handwrite the binomial nomenclatures, it should be underlined separately. Without underlining separately, that is genus name separate underline and the species name separate underlining has to be done. If it is not done, then the way of representing binomial nomenclature is considered as wrong. And now on, whenever you write a binomial nomenclature or a scientific name of any organism, make sure that you are underlining genus name and the species name separately. Okay. Now, as we told over here, this is the last point which we discussed in the previous session, that the two words must be in italics when printed and should be underlined separately when handwritten. So when we write two words, that is a genus word and a species word, as I took the example of Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens is the scientific name of humans. Okay. Homo sapiens is the scientific name of human. When I wanted to write it, it has to be separately underlined. I told you before also, it has to be separately underlined. Genus name you should underline separately. Species name also you should underline separately. Now, if at all we are using this genus name and species name, that is a scientific name, again and again in a particular maybe in an article or in the textbook, at that time we need not to write this genus name every time. Rather, we can abbreviate it and put a dot after that. So if I wanted to write Homo sapiens 3-4 times in a particular article, what I have to do is I have to write it in this format, H.SAPIENS, Homo sapiens. So this H dot then will represent Homo. That means the genus name of human. This is commonly used in case of bacterial names because generally the microorganisms genus name will be quite big and it will take it will take a lot of time and space also. So the best example what I can give over here for an abbreviated name of a microorganism or a bacteria is Escherichia coli. It is most of the time abbreviated as E. coli or we call it as E. coli bacteria. Okay, so that is what is the next rule of binomial nomenclature. That is, if a generic name is repeatedly used in a particular article or a sentence, you are using it again and again in a particular format, then we have to put a dot after the genus name and abbreviate it with the only first letter. But again, remember, you have to underline it separately. That is, if there is only single letter also, still you should underline the letter and you should write that letter in capital letter of English alphabet. Okay, I hope till here you have understood all the concepts. Let us see what are the next set of rules. Next set of rules says that if an organism is known by more than one scientific name, then the earliest or the first name is considered to be valid. If at all it happens that one same organism has been reported by two different places, the new organism I'm talking about, a new organism is discovered and its characterization has been done by two different scientists, maybe present in two different countries, and it has to go to ICBN or ICZN for the final nomenclature, right? Now, how we are going to decide that which organisms, which name we are going to take? At that time, it is the first one which is earliest, which was discovered, that will be considered as the scientific name of the organism. The one which is done earliest, that will be considered as the scientific name of the organism. And if it is also suggested that the name of the author who first described the species should be written in a standard or abbreviated form after the specific name. So what happens if at all we are writing and we know about the author or we know about the scientist who has discovered the particular species, then the name of the scientist should be abbreviated after the species name. Okay, for example, Linnaeus is abbreviated as L-I-N-N. Linnaeus is abbreviated as L-I-N-N dot. Okay. This is the scientific name. This is author citation. Author citation has to be done for that particular scientist who has discovered this particular name. Okay. So this technique is the name of the author who first described the species has to be abbreviated and standardized, and it should be written after the specific name. So it happens something like this. For example, if I talk about scientific name of mango, I'm going to write Mangifera indica. Mangifera, let me erase all this. Mangifera indica. And if I know the author over here who has done this naming, I'm going to abbreviate the name of the author, that is Linnaeus, as L-I-N-N dot. So this is called as author citation. Author citation is very important. Most of the cases what we do, if at all we do not know it, we just we don't write it. That is also okay. But if you know the name of the author and if it is given in your book or something, you should also practice the name of the author over there. Okay. So did you get it? What exactly we are talking about? We are talking about the rules of binomial nomenclature. We are talking about the rules of binomial nomenclature. Okay. Very important, this one. Because this is asked again and again in your exam, both board exam and as well as you will be getting it in your NEET CET questions also, that is in competitive exams also. State the rules of binomial nomenclature. That will be the question which will be asked. Okay. Now here are some examples which is put over here. That is name of human, which is Homo sapiens. Let me make it big and show it to you. Okay. It is not. Okay. This slide. See here we have tried to write down some of the names over here. Okay. Yeah. Now, can you see the name of the human? Okay. The example, human, scientific name is Homo sapiens, and the genus name over here is Homo. Similarly, we have the scientific name of wolf. Scientific name of wolf is called as Canis lupus. In this case, I need not to underline it separately because already it is in italics. Okay. So the scientific name of wolf is Canis lupus. As you can see, the C is capital over here, and L, which is a species name, has started with small letter. Lion. The scientific name of lion is Felis leo. I'm sorry for the arrow which has gone over this. I'll write it properly over here. Felis leo. Okay. Scientific name of lion is Felis leo. Out of that, the first one is the genus, and this is the species name. The second one is the species name. Okay. So human name is Homo sapiens. Then lion name is Felis leo, and wolf name is Canis lupus. The first one, Homo, Felis and Canis, is representing the genus name, and Sapiens, Leo and Lupus is representing the species name of that particular organism. I hope you got it till here, that we are talking about the scientific naming or nomenclature of a particular organism. Okay. Let us see what I have in the next slide. Okay. Now, what are the advantages of this binomial nomenclature? Why we need to do this binomial nomenclature? I think by now you only can tell me why shall we do this binomial nomenclature, can't you? See, it is very easy to tell right now at this point that binomial nomenclature is very important. Or else, for example, if I talk about one particular organism with you in my language and then the same you will understand something else in your language, then what will happen? We both are talking on the same topic, but we are not able to understand what we are talking in. Like if I talk in my mother tongue and if you talk in your mother tongue, and if our mother tongues are different, then we will be confused if at all we are talking on the same topic only. So to avoid this confusion and to give a generalized instruction, we do this binomial nomenclature, or it is accepted worldwide everywhere. So the binomial nomenclature of a given organism is universally accepted. It is accepted everywhere. It is like you are going to go any part of the country, any part of the world. You have to only tell the scientific name of that organism when you are talking about to some other person. Then the communication becomes easier, and that is accepted worldwide everywhere. Confusion arising from any name or multiple name is avoided. If at all you are talking about something and you are talking in local names, as I told you, or there may be multiple name of the same organism, those confusions can be easily avoided. So confusion arising from any local name or multiple name is avoided in this case. So what are the advantages of binomial nomenclature? This also can be asked as 2 mark questions or 3 mark questions. What are the advantages? The binomial nomenclature of a given organism is universally accepted, and it is very easy, so that we don't have any confusion because of local names or because of multiple names. Okay, the system of binomial nomenclature has a big impact on classifying this organism. Now, you may ask at this point that, ma'am, what is this classification with binomial nomenclature? Why are you bringing this classification concept now? I'll tell you why. Because our next topic is about classification only, and in this chapter only we are going to talk about classification. If you understand the things, it is very easy. If you think that, okay, no, it is difficult and I'm not going to understand it, then everything becomes difficult for you. So keep that mind, the doors and windows of your mind open, and let us understand how binomial nomenclature is helping in this classification process. So see, the process of binomial nomenclature helps in establishing a relationship between organisms placed in various taxa. I'll talk about classification, taxa, species, genus, order, class, all these things in the next set of videos. So all your doubts of this particular thing will be cleared.